Okay, in the new episode of Denim and Leather Podcast, we have a great guest coming from Las Vegas, Lena Scissorhands from Infected Rain. Thank you, Lena, for coming.
Thank you for having me. Yeah, it's very interesting type of introduction. I never was introduced like coming from Las
Oh,
Vegas. I guess
okay.
you're right. You're right because I mean I live here for so long. It
Yeah.
was nice to hear. I guess.
Yeah, because I asked you when we were messaging a few days ago if you're still in Moldova, but I didn't know that you live full time there.
Yes.
In America. Okay, wanted to ask you first. By the way, first, congrats on the finishing the tour. It was a world tour.
Yeah, you can call it like that. We hit so many different countries like never before. It's obviously very subjective when you say like world tour. Like, does anyone really go to every single country in the world when it calls it a world tour? Probably not.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably not. Because but in the same time, it was definitely a year that included the most countries than ever, and a lot of them we went for the first time, which was super super
So
nice.
this was your biggest tour, right?
No. I mean, when it
Or you
comes
had?
to shows, we give or take play around 100 shows a year, but sometimes less, sometimes more. I think we had years where we had a little bit more than this year, but it was very far to go, very very far. The furthest we've ever taken infected
Yeah,
rain.
yeah, on a few continents, if we might say. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I wanted to start from the beginning on your musical journey. I read that you were born in Moldova.
Yes.
We're pretty close. By the way, we are like two countries closer to Moldova, neighbors practically.
Where are you right now?
I'm in Macedonia.
Oh, nice. Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
pretty close, pretty close.
Close, yeah. It's definitely a country that gets confused often with Moldova and vice versa.
Oh yeah, yeah. True, true, true.
Yeah, it's really funny.
Yeah. And just last year, first time I was in Romania, and I saw a lot of Moldovan cars for the first time in,
Yeah,
you
we
know,
drive a lot. I mean, in order for us to drive to Europe, not fly, we have to go through Romania. There is no other way around
oh,
because Romania is quite big, and like
yeah,
we have to drive through Romania to be anywhere in Europe. And
yeah,
because right now, we have biometric passports, everybody doesn't really
yeah,
need visas to visit,
yeah,
Europe. We used to need visas even to go to Romania before.
yeah. We as well, but we haven't got visas since 2007, I think.
Yeah. We stopped after you. So when the band was already touring, we were literally going to Romanian embassy to ask for visa to be able to tour in Romania. Just
Oh,
the beginning. Yeah. We had a few years of nightmare. I mean, don't get me wrong. We still get visas for the other countries.
yeah, yeah,
Literally any single time you had to drive through Romania to go anywhere,
yeah,
you
yeah,
need
yeah.
to have a permission. So.
Yeah. Our first, our first guest was a Romanian band, Scarlet Aura. If you know Scarlet Aura, maybe I don't know.
No.
It's female fronted also. Uh, your real name is different from your artist name, right? You were born Elena.
Yes, that's my full name. Elena is my full name, and the place I was born has a certain tendencies to use a lot of specifically ex-USSR rules, and that applies to names as well. We have this formal full name, and then we have a shorter name
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
like for friends and family, right? So it's like Elena, Lena. It's like I don't know, Natalia, Natasha.
yeah, yeah. Same here, same
Exactly.
here.
So we used to be part of USSR. A lot of names are derived from Ukrainian names, from Russian names from. My name is Greek, but it's very, very much used in the entire world. It's probably one of the most used names out there.
Yeah, we have it a lot. Yeah.
Exactly. But in my part of, where I was born, and I was born in Moldova, but my parents are not quite from there. My father is Armenian. My mom is half Polish, half Greek. And it's just, like my mom's name is Ludmila and everybody calls her Luda.
Ludmila,
yeah. And we have the same for men, and
Luda, you know what Luda means?
No.
Well, in Slavic languages, Luda means crazy.
Crazy. Okay. Yeah. in all the good ways. I love my mom very much.
Yeah, of course.
Yes, and so yeah, it's just my formal name, full name, whatever you want to call it.
Well, great that you have Polish roots. I have also Polish. One side of my grandmother is Polish.
That's what I heard. My grandma, her family was Polish, or at least with very strong roots from Poland.
Awesome. You started because you were born in the 80s. You started listening to rock metal very early, or no?
I mean, I started listening to music in general and paying attention to music in general quite early. I as a child, I definitely could feel that I'm attracted to music and I like to listen to it. And I could notice that the effect that music does on me, it's not quite the same with everybody else. Like some people don't even think about music when they listen to music, but in reality, music sets your mood. And only if you let it, if you open your soul, you can be like, in a different mood and all that. So I started noticing that when I was young, and we used to have MTV. And I think I started noticing with Michael Jackson. I always liked his music, and I did understand that I like his music more than other music,
Yeah.
And then slowly I was just curious more and more about music. And I think I started listening to alternative music closer to age 13. And it was Nirvana on MTV. It was like more alternative bands like Offspring, bands like that. And also a lot of Russian rock music, because we had a very famous radio station that was playing only rock and alternative Russian bands.
Oh, maybe Aria.
Aria, yes, Aria is one of the bands. Yeah. This radio station was called Nasha Radio. It means our radio.
Our radio, yeah.
And everybody that was a little bit more alternative was listening to this in the cars and stuff like that. You were cool if you were listening to that, And
Nasha Radio, right?
Yes, Nasha Radio.
Same.
Yeah, really?
Yeah.
There you go. It was popular, and we even had in Moldova. We had, I think, 1 or 2 hours of interference, and some VJs and radio people were taking over with stuff from Moldova.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, but I started to go deeper into like alternative music at age 14 because I was going through a quite difficult time in my life. Family issues, parents that had problems, and it's a long story. The fact is that I needed help. I needed some sort of escape from what was happening, and that is what I did with my friend that also listened to alternative music. She listened to different other bands, but we were sharing this same like teenager love for music, and it became into something a little bit bigger. I was always curious to translate the lyrics to know what the songs are about, and then I started going heavier around age 16. I started to listen to heavier music, and
that's like the early 2000s, right?
I was 16 exactly when there was 2000, because I'm from 86.
Oh,
I was
okay.
No, I was 14 actually, so 2002, Early 2000s,
Yeah,
yes.
it was a good time for alternative music. I mean, in the early
MTV was
2000s.
cool, and
Yeah.
yeah, internet was not a thing at the time, of
Yeah,
course.
it was beginning. Internet was just in the beginning, you know.
I wouldn't say, I don't know, maybe, yeah, maybe like only in like internet cafes and school.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah, I was very passionate about this, and I was just trying to understand what the songs were about, and I was already working as a hairdresser, so I was buying my own music. I had this like little CD player, and that's it. There was no other things. There was no like internet was a luxury. Let's say that
Yeah,
computers
yeah,
was a
yeah.
big luxury.
I remember we already had internet late 90s here, and I remember early 2000s we even had internet at home, maybe 2001,
No,
and
that's
uh, and
Don't get don't get me wrong, I got my first boyfriend around that time when I was like 16, 17, and he had a computer and internet.
yeah,
I
yeah,
didn't. I come from a very poor family. Not that he was super rich,
no,
but
no, it was,
some kids had it, like you say, in the
yeah,
early 2000s, but I
yeah.
didn't. Like
It
I
it was it was very rare. Yeah, it was rare.
was rare. I had my
Yeah,
first computer, which was gigantic and with very slow internet when I was first year of university, just so you know.
yeah,
So,
yeah, 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 yeah. I
uh,
remember those days. I mean, when the cell phone came up,
yeah,
and
yeah,
those were the times of the internet and the cell phones in the beginning.
yeah.
Uh, and okay, and how did you? When did you make your first band? You had a band before Infected Rain?
No, actually,
Really?
there were some small attempts of singing before, but not really anything serious. My first attempt on singing was actually on Naša Radio, and when during the day, once a week, I think, maybe once a week, I don't remember for sure, but let's pretend once a week during a specific day and during a specific hour, you could call to this Moldovan, Naša radio station,
Yeah.
and you had to sing a small part of a song that you want them to play for you. And it was called Shas Payu, which means I'll sing it now or something like
By
that.
you,
Right?
it means pay. Yeah, I think. Yeah.
Shas Payu, like I'll sing it now or
Oh yeah.
whatever. Right? And I had to like sing a piece of the song that they will play, but in the end of this hour, they would choose the best singer or the funniest one or whatever. And they would normally give some pretty cool gifts like tickets for a local show or like a local band album or whatever they had. There was. I used to love listening to that hour of the radio, and I called a couple of times and I won a couple of times.
Oh, your first attempt at singing, maybe, or no?
Yes, that was my first attempt
Yeah.
at singing. Yeah,
Yeah.
I was singing over the phone, the home phone, with all the
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
numbers in. I would sing the song that I wanted them to play for me. And it had to be obviously a song from a Russian band because that's all they would play, Russian alternative music. It could be a rock and roll band, an alternative band, or a metal band, anything like that they would have, right? And it had to be that because they were not playing anything in English like from other bands.
Yeah.
And yeah, I won a couple of times. That was definitely my first few attempts. And then when I was living in Italy doing my university, some of my colleagues from like high school, actually, because I did 1 year of high school and then I did university. In the high school, I had a few friends musicians, and they did attempt to ask me to sing, but I never knew what I'm doing. And yeah, it was like maybe 2 rehearsals, but nothing real. I didn't even have a microphone, I think, or maybe I did, but I couldn't hear it. I don't remember. It was so long ago. But it was always nothing special, nothing serious. It was just because they were my friends and we were hanging out and they were like, okay, try this. And then this is exactly what happened with Infected Rain. I was a hair and makeup artist already, a career path that I chose for myself when I was very young. I started when I was 16. And by the time that We created Infected Rain. I was 23. So I already had a career path in my head, already wanted something specific from my life. I didn't even plan to change anything like that. But two friends of mine that were musicians, they were fooling around doing some covers, metal covers with more electronics. It was Vidic from Infected Rain, current guitar player,
Okay.
and his best friend, the DJ. He was with us during our first album. We used to be 6 members in the beginning. So they were friends and rehearsing at Vidic's place, and just one day they asked me to, because they were already existing songs, they were like covers. They asked me to sing, basically. Just, do you remember these words? Come on, sing it, or whatever, stuff like that, So that's how we started, and it was for fun, and I really liked it, but it was nothing serious. There was no band, there was no personal, creativity or anything like that to be able to like do your own stuff. But the DJ, his friend, he was the one telling me that he thinks I have a good voice and that I should have some lessons. And I felt I took it very serious. And I remember thinking, okay, well, he's a musician, he would know better, like, I don't know. I never thought I have a voice. I never thought I am talented like this, But that thought could not leave me alone.
Yeah.
I was thinking about it all the time until I found a vocal teacher in the
This is back in Moldova or in Italy?
back in Moldova.
Moldova,
After
okay.
university,
Okay.
I moved back to Moldova, and I just found a vocal teacher in the University of Music. She was also doing individual lessons. I called her. She was quite skeptical in the beginning because I was already 23 and almost 24, to be honest. And she just told me honestly that, if there's nothing she can do, she's going to be honest about it. And I was like, oh shit. So it was fun. I went to this first lesson. I was very nervous. She was this Armenian woman, which was a big coincidence because I have Armenian roots as well. Big coincidence. Tatiana is her name, Tatiana Robertovna. And she is this older lady, age of my parents, that this is all she did in her life is music, and her knowledge is insane. Somehow after the first lesson, she told me to keep coming back, and we worked together for 3 years. The first 3 years. In these first 3 years, we created Infected Rain. We created the band. We had musicians. We already, in 2008, we played our first show. We started writing our own music, and I was just taking it more serious. And then slowly we started doing some shows in Ukraine, Romania, because they are the neighbor countries.
Yeah.
We did a few shows in Bulgaria and Hungary, and slowly we were aiming to, go to other countries as well. I could still keep my job for a while. I was still working as a hair and makeup artist, but obviously, eventually, with all this traveling, I had to drop it. I love it still. I still do my own looks and my own create my own makeup for music videos, photo shoots. Sometimes I do it for friends. But music just spoke louder to me. It was just something that I didn't think I needed, And this is how everything started. Then obviously, slowly I started digging deeper into vocals, and I discovered Melissa Cross and her school with her techniques. I met her in person in New York in 2013. And since then I started, sorry, that's my dog.
Yeah.
Since then I started just following her lessons. We became close friends, and, I can always ask her about anything vocal related, and not only, but that's pretty much how everything started, and everything moved on. And here I am.
So you went to New York to take lessons or online?
I was no in New York. I was actually, it was a coincidence. I was visiting a friend in America, and I visited different states to visit other friends as
yeah,
well. And because I was visiting, actually, one of our first guitar players, which left the band after the first year because he moved to America. I was visiting him actually, and I knew that her studio is somewhere in Manhattan. And I tried my luck. I called the phone number. There was a voicemail. I left a voicemail saying, I'm only going to be in Manhattan for this much. I never heard back for the first week. And I was like, oh my God, I'm going to try one more time, and I called again, left another message saying that it is totally fine if she doesn't have space. I just want to make sure that she gets this message because, I'm only going to be in Manhattan for 1 week, and any day during that week I can take, any day. Because it was my dream to meet her in person, to, hopefully learn something in a little bit of time that I will have, and that's how we met. Yeah. Her assistant get back to me, and we made an appointment, and
Awesome. And she probably told you some secrets of singing.
Oh yeah, she is amazing. She definitely has a way to be very personable with you. She has a way to help you find your strength and to believe in yourself. It's very difficult because you can have a lot of technique and a lot of talent, but if you lack in other parts, it's going to be so much more difficult. And I had a very serious problem, which I still do, but I know how to work around it now. I often don't have enough self-esteem to present myself in this way that I have to with my band, and believing that you are actually good at what you do and that you are actually giving your best at what you do, at least today, and feeling worthy of people's attention and people buying tickets to come to see you, people that do tattoos with your signature or with your portrait. You're like, oh my God, how, I'm not worthy of all of this. But she will always make sure that you feel worthy because you are a hard worker and you are putting your entire existence into what you do. I try to do at least.
Yeah, because you work, you live off your art, probably. I mean,
Yes.
When did you? Want to ask you, when did you choose your artist name, Scissorhands, Lena? Is it because of the movie, Edward?
No. Yes and no. So. As I mentioned to you before, I became a hairdresser when I was 16. That was my very first serious and legal job, obviously, because illegally, before I was at the right age of working, I was still taking small jobs so I can have some money, like cleaning some classrooms in school or like picking some fruit from trees for money, or whoever was offering whatever, I had to earn money early, to help my family and to at least have my own change in my pocket because my family did not have any money, for this. And when I was 15, I went to the School of Hairdresser Art, and that I did after school because I never dropped school. I was in high school when I learned, and it was a long amount of time of learning, and so I would go in the morning in high school and in the evening in this hairdresser professional school. And I was picked for a job right away by this lady that was opening her new beauty salon, and me and another girl from that school were picked for that job. She talked with the teachers and she saw some of our results and we were picked by her. We were offered a job, and when I finished that school, my best friends gave me a t-shirt that said Lena Scissorhands because of the movie.
Wow.
The movie just came out not too long ago in the early 90s. I believe Edward Scissorhands is from 95 or something?
90s, yeah.
90s, but I don't remember exactly, but it was fresher than now. Some kids now don't even know that movie exists. So I always loved Tim Burton and his movies.
Of course.
Always more alternative and more different than everybody else.
Yeah, darker,
Darker, and of course that just was a t-shirt that I was wearing a lot at work. And when internet became a thing slowly, right? We were talking about that time, right?
Yeah.
I created my first MySpace, and like then later on Facebook with this name,
Yeah.
Lena Scissorhands, and it just stayed with me way before I became a singer. I just kept my own social media. I didn't choose a new one.
Awesome.
Then I just kept it. That's all.
That's even better because it's not completely out of the movie. It's because of who you are.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's better. You started first taking lessons in clean singing, right? Not growling as you do.
Yes. Yes,
Yeah.
obviously. My first vocal teacher that I mentioned to you in Moldova, she was a classical vocal teacher. So
Yeah.
she taught me how to breathe. She
Yeah.
taught me how to do vocal warm up, and we would sing the classics together. Yes, she would like play piano, and I would sing, and then she would change the melody of the piano completely. So I learned how to
Yeah.
work with music. So things
Yeah.
like that we would do all the time.
I saw some videos that you post on Instagram when you sing clean and then
Yeah.
go straight to growling. It's amazing. It's
Thank you.
yeah.
You know why it is so awesome? Because my second vocal teacher, which is Melissa Cross,
Yeah.
she always teaches this philosophy that singing and screaming is actually the same thing. It's not different. It's you add a technique to your skills of singing. That's
Yeah.
all.
Yeah.
It's only a technique that anyone can learn. You don't have to have an insane vocal range. You don't have to be super talented. Yes, you have to learn to hear music and understand where you are, of course. But you don't have to be one of the in the million that has the gift from birth.
Yes.
Just a technique you learn that you add to your vocal skills that you need to know as well. So like even speaking, in her opinion, has to feel the same as singing and screaming. So the only thing that makes it louder is the microphone.
Yeah. So
You know?
you have you want to say you have a rhythm and a melody into speaking also. Yeah.
Yes, that is correct. But also the technique of
Yeah.
you can talk like this with barely having any air, and almost when you talk, it feels like you don't have air anymore. Or you can talk like this, and it's coming out of your mask, and you control the air, you control the breathing, you control the tone, and everything sounds the same and more convincing.
Yeah.
It's the same as we sing. We sing, speak, and scream into this beast mode, so-called, into
Yeah.
this mode of being more convincing, like you mean
Yeah.
it. There's a stadium in front of you.
Yeah.
Teachers are supposed to use this technique. Actors are supposed to use this technique, and yeah.
Two episodes ago, I had the vocal teacher Ken Templin. You know him probably.
I heard of him, yeah.
Yeah, he has a vocal academy, so he was a guest, and he told me something I didn't know. He told me that there is two diaphragms, and he told me about the lower diaphragm where all the core power comes from, and I
Yeah.
didn't know that.
Yeah, some people don't call it two diaphragms. That's why it's not common for
Yeah.
to like associate it with two diaphragms. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So, when did you do the switch from singing clean to singing?
I was never just singing clean. I started right away exploring the whole type of vocalizing, and the only way I was doing it is by imitating sounds that I think I want or I think I like. Or I think, but it wasn't right. I used to hurt myself a lot, but I never was only a clean screamer or a clean singer. I'm sorry, because for two reasons. First of all, I never thought that I even have the talent to sing, so diverse and so well, because I never learned singing. I was learning, but I was learning with the classical vocal teacher. She didn't know anything about screaming, but she taught me how to position myself. She taught me how to sing. She taught me how to breathe. All I needed to do is understand screaming, because it's a feeling, it's a sensation more than anything. It's a body sensation. And yeah.
No, but go ahead. I mean, I cut you.
Yeah, so, no worries. So this body sensation I had to find by myself up until I discovered the DVDs of Melissa Cross, where
Uh-huh.
first that's how I found out about her. She had 2 DVDs. She still has them. They are, I'm sure, available to purchase.
Yeah.
And I watched those DVDs. I ordered them and I had them and I watched them over and over again. And I would try to imitate, those exercises, those lessons, those sounds. That's how I started. Later on, I discovered like better and understood better what needs to be done and how. And that's when I started having diversity into my screaming, because in the beginning I figured out a way to scream, but it was very monotone, very one way, and it would only last for maybe 3 shows in a row.
Yeah.
I couldn't do more than 3 shows in a row. Right now, like I think our record is around 20 shows in a row, no days off.
Wow.
Yeah. So it was crazy. No, don't do it. Fuck
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Do that. I don't know why that happened. It wasn't our actual choice, but somehow often in order to avoid paying for days off and avoid losing money for days off on tour, often you get overwhelmed with, better play a show than not play a show.
Yeah.
But it's not quite like that, because we are playing with fire. This is our body we are talking about. We don't have an instrument that we put in a case and we take out of the case and it sounds good every day. You have to only tune it. It's not like that. Or like it's your body we are talking about. And your body, if you are tired, you're tired.
Yeah, of course.
You will sound tired, you would look tired, and there's nothing you can do, because guess what? We are not machines.
Yep. You're right about everything, and probably when you explored, when you toured Europe and stuff, when did you move? Like a whole band moved to USA?
No, just me. I'm the only band member that lives here.
Oh,
I moved
okay.
here in 2015. I moved here and I live here since then. I don't really have many relatives in Moldova anymore. My entire family moved to Italy when I was in high school, and I moved with them, and I came back, but they didn't. They still live there. They are Italian citizens,
Yeah.
and they live there for more than 20 years now. Yeah. I visit them a lot, but I don't have family. In Moldova, I have only friends left and my band.
So how do you rehearse, or everything is online?
We rehearse separately. Everything is through, whoever is comfortable with what. I do it through cue-based. I have,
Yeah.
metronome. I have my songs, and I have my little vocal studio. This is part of it.
Yeah.
And I built this myself during COVID, and I'm, very happy that I have a small little place that is separate from the house, kind of.
Yeah.
And I suggest that everybody gets one. If you don't have the opportunity to have an entire room for this, it's totally fine. It can be just literally one angle of your room. I literally put apart a closet. My vocal booth is in the closet.
Yeah.
And I put the soundproof stuff around, and I invested in the program. Yes, I invested, because it costs money.
Yeah.
I invested time to learn how to use it, because I did not know how to use it for many years. And yeah, I just started practicing like that separately. And then when we have European tours, I go to Moldova. We do a few general rehearsals where everybody's already ready. It's just general. And then we pack and go to Europe. If the tour is in America, they all come here to my place. We, do general band meetings or general rehearsals if needed here, and then we go on tour. Normally, that's how it happens.
Awesome. And you record albums like that, like you said, right?
Kinda, to a certain extent. So far, we still try to always record together, not together simultaneously, not at the same time, but we kind of do it all in Moldova, because we invested a lot of money. We have the equipment, and we do it. We only hire the producer. So the producer comes by our recording room. Our rehearsal / recording room is the same, because we we just figured out that it's very important to invest in the high-end quality that will make you sound at your best even when you rehearse. So yeah, he just brings whatever he needs, for his own drivers and everything he needs, and we record there. I do, however, rehearse my parts and record the raw ideas of the songs separately from my own place, and often they come out really good because we use absolutely the same program and same everything. So sometimes they end up keeping some of my parts.
Yeah.
Generally, I go to Moldova and I record it again, together, kind of. Everybody is there.
Yeah. So, which label are you signed to with Infected Rain? You're releasing
With
album?
Napalm Records.
With Napalm? I know you have another band in America, and you're also with Napalm with the other band, right?
I don't have that band anymore. That
no.
band, it was never my band. I was invited to be part of it. It was
Okay.
a side project, you can say. That band was created kind of together with during COVID. They were just doing some songs, and they hired me for those songs, and they liked it so much that they wanted to do a band. Even though I never believed that I could do two bands, because it's very, very time consuming and it's a lot.
Yeah.
I told them no 2 times. But they still wanted to try, and we did an album that I'm very, very proud of. Death Dealer Union was the name of the band.
Yeah.
Selected by the drummer. The drummer is the creator of the band, and he is the one that invited me in this project. But as I feared, there wasn't enough time to proceed with 2 bands, and they are not really doing music anymore. At least some of them are in other bands, in other projects, but they are not doing anything with the Death Dealer Union, is what I meant to say. So yeah, it was that band was immediately taken by Napalm Records, because they already know me and I'm their artist, so they wanted to have an opportunity, with this band as well. But obviously they are not gonna. The band doesn't really exist anymore.
How long are you with Napalm? I mean,
since 2019. We signed a year before COVID, but we were in touch 3 years prior to that. So around 2017, I believe we had their first offer, and we just kept in touch because we weren't ready.
So you're like signed for releasing for a few albums?
Yeah. It's always the contract normally includes some albums, but we already did plenty. This is our 3rd album, I think, with Napalm, if I remember correctly. 3rd, 2nd. But we signed in 2019, but before that we were independent for 10 years.
Yeah, how many albums do you have with Infected Rain? All in all,
6.
6 albums.
Yeah.
That's good for 15 years of playing. It's every second year an album,
Pretty much. Only in the beginning we were taking a little bit longer.
Yeah.
But much lately, that's what it was. Maybe this time we will do 3. We'll see. We are in a very good place of writing and composing, but we also have so many plans for next year that I don't know how to find time for this. So maybe next album will be actually not in 2026, but like in
25.
No, because this album time came in 2024, so it's not going to be in 2026. It's going to be in 27 maybe, but
okay.
Not 100% sure. Maybe we will be able to find enough time and do it for 2026 maybe.
Yeah, but you plan on touring 25, right?
A lot. Yeah, we have already so many 100% shows that there's I don't know where.
Festivals or your shows alone?
2 European tours in spring, then we are working on an American tour closer to summer, like spring, summer, and then we have festivals in the summer. And there's something else in the works for autumn, but nothing 100%.
Do you guys have Napalm Records getting you like tour managers and stuff, or you have your own tour manager?
Our tour manager works together with Napalm, but works separately as well. They are called Napalm Booking.
So they're taking you on tour. Yeah.
Yes, they are, but they are separate. How to say?
They are like a separate entity.
Separate entity, but yeah. So I believe they do work with a lot of bands that are not signed. Like, let's say one in the future, our contract with Napalm Records finishes, we can still choose to work with Napalm Booking if they want to.
Yeah.
Like that, you know. But we didn't know of them before Napalm Records, so it wasn't mandatory. They said, hey, if you guys want to, we have a booking agency that you could try to work with. You don't have to. It's not part of our contract. You don't have to. So we chose to because, you know, they have very strong bands and their results were quite cool. So why not?
Yeah, it's a great roster probably there. I have a band for 25 years maybe. I'm a drummer. And Wacken Festival has something similar with the Wacken Foundation, like two separate entities. So Wacken Foundation founded this is our vinyl here,
nice.
and they funded our vinyl, you know, like to release the vinyl record. So it's similar like that, yeah.
That's awesome.
Okay, I wanted to ask you about. I read that you're vegan, right?
Right.
It's like from reasons probably out of empathy towards the all species, right? I mean,
to be honest,
animals.
That's not why I started.
Yeah.
Even though I should have, but that's not why I started. I started purely from curiosity and wanting to try something new. At the time, I was looking into cleaning my body a little bit. I was already touring a lot with Infected Rain, and I wanted to find something that gives me more energy. And I found out that there are so many ways that you can clean your body, you can clean your organs separately. There are so many ways. So I did a really intense cleaning of my body, of my blood, and like it was a very intense one. It was if you guys are curious, it was the one that you do with garlic. Very interesting. It's available on Google, so check it out if you guys are curious. I did that for 2 weeks, and then I chose to eat raw vegan after the cleaning of my body.
Yeah.
9 years ago I did that, actually. Almost 10 years ago since I became vegan. So almost 10 years ago I did this cleaning. I started eating everything raw, just raw vegetables and fruits, salads, nuts, all that kind of stuff. Everything raw. Obviously the stuff that you can eat raw, not raw eggplant or raw beans. You can't eat that. So obviously it's only stuff that you can.
Yeah.
And that also gave me a very strong boost and a very strong base. I was missing cooked food, and during this time I was reading a lot about nutrition, a lot about veganism, and a lot about how important it is to actually be aware of even the quality of the food, that even if you are omnivore, sometimes we just never check and never question. I wonder for how many years is this meat been frozen in a store, and I bought it.
Yeah.
Like, for example, or I wonder, was this cow that gave milk here even a cow that ever did one step in her life, or ever like saw her babies or anything like that? We never question these things, we never question so many things. So I started learning. I started reading books about it, watching podcasts about it. My guitar player Vidik was doing the same thing at the time, so I wasn't really alone.
Yeah.
I did it kind of inspired by that, and since then I became vegan. I chose that I do want to cook food. I love cooking very much, and so yeah, I never.
So you cook, but you cook vegan. Right?
I cook vegan, yes. So I don't eat raw food anymore.
Yeah.
I only did that for 2 months and a half, I think. And but I do eat a lot of raw food in my everyday life, stuff that a lot of people don't do anymore. Like, when was the last time you ate an apple? Like, you can ask other people, they'll be like, a week ago. Or
Yeah.
you should eat raw fruit every day for fiber, for vitamins, for energy.
Yeah, if you're not a diabetic.
Correct. But if you are diabetic, you can have other stuff, right?
Yeah.
Every single body condition gives you its own options. Of
I,
course, of
uh,
course.
I'm interested in that stuff because I do fast, uh,
Fasting.
fasting. Yeah,
Yeah, me too. Me too.
sometimes
On water?
sorry.
On water?
No, no, no. I don't do those kind of fastings, but I do the in the terms of when it's the fasting like 40 days of like a Christian fast.
Oh no, so that's not fasting. Yeah, I know what you're saying. That
Yeah,
the religious
40 days fasting. Yeah,
yeah,
for
yeah, it's
example.
just not eating animal product. You guys are eating, but not animal product.
No, you eat everything that's available, only not products. Yeah, like milk, like
Yes, no animal product, no
yeah, yeah,
eggs,
and
no
yeah, no
fish,
meat, no
meat.
nothing. Yeah, yeah. But
That is correct. So that is literally you becoming vegan for
yes,
religious
of course, of course.
purposes. For this amount of time, my grandma is very religious. I know of it. We have it in our country. It has a special name. It's not called vegan. It has a special name.
Yeah.
And in those times of the year,
Oh, they call it Lent. Lent.
yeah, it's completely different name. Post. I don't know.
Post. Yeah, posting. Yeah,
Yeah.
post.
Like that, yeah. But anyways, it's great. It's great because you give your body a break from all this fat, and all this animal product. And yeah, it's my grandma does it many times a year. She doesn't do it just once a year before Easter. She's very religious, and she does it many, many times a year. So I know of it because even when I was a child and we would visit her, we had to ask her if she eats it in this time of the year or not, what to bring to her.
They don't eat they don't eat the Wednesdays and the Fridays also.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. She does that. She does
yeah,
that.
yeah. I mean, I don't fast like every year, but when I do, when I want to do it, I do it like twice a year. And I wanted to ask you about raw food because I
Yeah.
did eat some, but I read somewhere that, for example, spinach, if you eat it raw, it's bad for the kidneys or something. Stuff
No.
like that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It all depends on what quantities.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
of course, if you're gonna eat only something in big quantities, you will feel some sort of like reaction to your body.
Yeah, yeah.
So of course, like, you can put raw spinach in salad and mix it with another, like lettuce or something, or arugula or other things, or don't eat it in big quantities every day. You can eat today something full of spinach and tomorrow something full of something else.
Yeah.
Diversity is very important in food in general, but especially if you eat raw, you need diversity because you basically count on the what you eat. Literally, you count on what you eat more than anybody. You need bigger quantities for sure. My guitar player Vidic, he's a raw vegan for many years, and he eats raw food on tour. It's hardcore. It's not easy, but if you do your research, you train your body, you know what to eat, you have enough minerals, enough vitamins, enough fiber, and enough natural good fats that you can combine in everything that you need in a meal.
Yeah.
And there are devices that cook with a very slow temperature, like a dehydrator or a slow cooker.
Yeah.
But it has, not all of them, some of them don't have this option, but when the option is between 35 and 41 degrees Fahrenheit, okay, I don't know in Celsius 100%, between 35 and 41 Fahrenheit is so slow cooking that you have to cook sometimes for entire day, entire night,
Yeah.
maybe even days. But you can create so much out of vegetables in those devices. For example, the other day I did my own like crackers out of all kinds of seeds that I had that are raw, water and spices, instead of buying chips and eating the food with that is so processed and it's not good for you. You make your own. You can dry fruit like that, but make desserts like that. Vedic makes burgers like that out of vegetables, just enough. You learn the ingredients, you learn the recipes, and the correct amount of spices that makes it almost taste like it's a real burger.
Yeah.
So there are ways. Nowadays, it's so easy. It's just
you reminded me on. I met Tanya O'Callaghan once, the bass player. You know Tanya?
Yes.
That's played in Whitesnake. She's a vegan, and and we talked once in a backstage on a festival, and we spoke about the same things. And you remind me of her in similar.
Yeah, I never met her in person, but we have friends
She's
in
great.
common. Yeah, she's great. I follow her. She's super cool, but I never met her in person. Yeah.
I met her when she played, like almost 10 years, when she played with Dee Snider. She was a bass player for Dee.
Nice.
And I love your tattoos, by the way. Great stuff. When did you decided to be like a full-on tattoo?
There wasn't really a moment.
It was step by step.
I just loved tattoos always, and I think that if you are able to make them look nice on your body, like they have a float and they can accentuate your body, I just love them, and I just continued doing it, and eventually I decided that I'm gonna be more covered. But
You still do, or you don't have a?
I'm actually working on my right leg right now. I'm finishing my right leg.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going tomorrow, actually. I have to text my tattoo artist, and I have to write it down. Text me.
To not forget.
No, I don't forget. I have it written, but I have to text my tattoo artist to make sure that it's all good, because I do these appointments in advance.
Yeah. Okay, Lena, we're about to finish. So thank you a lot for this wholehearted interview. It was great.
Of course. Yeah. Thank you for the interesting questions. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, of course. I like to when I do this show, I like it more to be like a conversation, and with not just regular questions like an interview.
Yeah. No, it totally was, and it was structured. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. I hope you liked it.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you, and have a good night. Thank you for being so, doing it so late.
Don't worry, of course.
All right.
Thank you a lot. Bye-bye.